So this film, it required a lot of physical strength. So how fit did you have to get for it?
Quite, yeah. I had to do a lot of training. I did like 4.5 months of training beforehand, before we shot the movie. I did like Krav Maga and like circuit training and kickboxing and all that kind of stuff, and then went and did a month with the stunt guys out in Toronto, where we shot before we started shooting, and then I was like training. I actually kicked the producers out of their trailer and put an exercise bike in there, because whilst we were on location, they were like, "Oh, you're fine, you'll go to the gym at like 4 in the morning." I was like, "No, I won't. I'll use your trailer at lunchtime and train in there." So that's what I did for that, yeah.
Sounds very draining.
It is draining, it is draining. But it's, you know, no pain, no gain, that's what they say.
I can imagine you got a lot of female attention with it, though. Like...
Oh, I don't know. I don't know about that. You know, the only female attention that I require is that of my mother's.
How does it compare to a film like Twilight that you did?
I mean, I think, you know, I think it's going to be penned into that sort of, I suppose, group anyway, because of the fact that it's a YA novel. I think, you know, it is incredibly different. You know, our movie's definitely not trying to sort of recreate the iconic image of a vampire or of a werewolf. You know, those things exist in the world, but they're sort of just added extras, really. You know, it's not, Clary Frey is not, you know, a vampire, and Jace Wayland is not, you know, a vampire. That's not what they are. They're ultimately, they're human people, and that's, I think it's more of a study of human emotion and what it means to be human and what it means to be a young person growing up, rather than, you know, sort of being a sexy vampire.
I can imagine there were a lot of laughs on set as well, with like Robbie, and Kevin. So were there any like jokes or pranks going on? Yeah, always. I'm a big one for forgetting my lines, and when I forget my lines, I generally swear a lot, or like I'll accidentally say things that aren't meant to be said, which sound very wrong. Robbie actually is very focused on set, actually, comparatively to how he is in real life. Kevin's the real joker out of the bunch, and like myself and Lily and Robbie, you know, he would be making stupid voices, and yeah, it was fun. I mean, it was such an intense process shooting the film that I think there had to be a sort of element of levity, you know, yeah,
to whatever situation that we were in.
So you connected very well with the character of Jace, and he's got many sides to his personality. So what sort of traits do you share with him, and what traits do you wish you had?
I think Jace is incredibly complex as a character. I think it would be easy for somebody to come along and make this character really, I suppose, really just nothing, you know, like just macho and machismo and like not really, just nothing, like just dull. And I think, you know, ultimately Jace is, the interesting part of Jace for me was the fact that he, you know, is vulnerable, and that's, you know, ultimately why he is such a sarcastic and arrogant D-bag. You know, that's why he is the way he is. You know, I think we're all vulnerable in our own way. I think, you know, we all end up hiding, you know, that vulnerability occasionally, and I think Jace does it outwardly more obviously than perhaps I do in real life. And that's what I connected with, you know, and I actually ended up making a mood board of like people that, you know, he's very aggressive as well in the way that he fights and in the way that he can be, you know, impulsively aggressive. So I sort of used people like James Hetfield from Metallica, and then like with his vulnerability, I used people that have existed, particularly young actors from way back when, and that vulnerability from them. Do I wish I had anything like Jace? Not really. He's too complex for me. You know, I prefer things a bit more simple than he does.
Well, on the subject of music now, like, given your interest in music, have you ever considered recording a song for the soundtrack?
I would love to. I'd love to do a song for the movie too. I think it would be great. You know, I think it would be really fun. I would love to do that. You know, I don't outwardly go out there and search for, I suppose, you know, options whereby I can put my music, you know, onto CD or like onto like make money off it. I much prefer to sort of just do it and just have it as a sort of organic process, because like work is great and work is a career, but the music is sort of the music. I would love to you know, make it part of my career, but at the moment I just want to make it about like me. I put a few people in contact with friends' bands, you know, successful bands and stuff, you know, for the soundtrack, and that didn't, you know, work out, whether or not, you know, whatever, but you know, I had some friends write songs for the movie, and some of those songs have ended up on records that have been released, and yeah, but you'll have to go out there and look for them and listen to the lyrics to find out what those songs are.
Well, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Congratulations.